Which Chaos God has the best Space Marines? So, Chaos Renegades, Chaos Space Marines, Treacher Marines, Traitor Marines, they come with many names, but you can call them what you like. Most people just call them Chaos Space Marines, but back in the day they were originally known as the Treacher Marines and then moved on to Chaos Renegades. Renegades seems a more normal name than Treacher. Treacher is a strange name. Now these Chaos Renegade Space Marines were released in September of 1988. They were amongst the earliest of the Chaos Space Marines to be released. Originally there were some limited edition ones and then there was another little batch, and that was followed by this bigger batch. What I find fun about these old Renegade Space Marines is how weird some of them can be. Some of the sculpts are very funky indeed. Also, they didn't seem overly god specific. Some of them do, and I think you'll see the ones which are, but not all of them were overly god specific. They were all very random indeed. Even if they were god specific, I think some of them you might be hard pressed to tell which god they actually supported. Can you support a god? They're not like a football team, are they? I'm gonna get my Nurgle scarf when I go and watch Nurgle. What I find quite amusing is how many of them have horns up there. Some are like curly, some are rigid, and some are just very strange. Some meet in the middle and have like an eyeball. Looks like someone catching a ball in cricket. Playing in the slips like I used to do when I was a youngster. Big shout out to any other slip fielders from the cricket days. The best position to play in the field, in my opinion. Anyway, let's dive in and have a look at these Chaos Renegades. So here we have some of the very first Chaos Space Marines, and at the time these were known as Chaos Renegades. Let's have a little look through these guys. So first up we have a green guy with some what appear to be Evil Sun's logos on his knee pads. He also seems to have a kind of Salamanders-esque colour scheme. The next guy is quite confusing. He has something on his head which look a little bit like antennae, but they also look like they might be mechanical. Maybe there's some kind of pincer or something. And also, is that an eye on the top of his forehead? Next up is a chap holding a quite clean looking melter gun for a corrupt marine. Maybe he's picked it up off a dead loyalist somewhere. This guy is quite standard. He does have a lovely studded vambrace on his left hand, but he also has a pair of antennae again, which is sort of met at the top, kind of holding an eyeball, like those games where you catch the ball in that plastic net thing. Oh my word, what is the name of that game? Anyway, it looks like that to me. A green and gold chap up next, and yet again he has some horns. There's definitely a theme going on here. But this guy looks a little more cow-like. He does have a nice power fist in the left hand, and I'm going to guess that this guy is a Slaanesh follower, or renegade I should say. Next up is one of my favourites from the whole release, and I'm going to assume that this is a World Eater. He's red and brassy, and he has one of the best tails in the business. He has what appears to be a circular saw tail there. Now I do wonder, is that attached to his backpack, or is that attached to his body? We can't see the rear of this miniature. If you know, then please let me know. Very strange looking marine up next. He has some of the skinniest legs I've ever seen on a space marine. Again, I think he's probably a World Eater. And also his weapon looks like it might not have been painted. Maybe that's why they turned him to face this direction. Also of note, his metal head reminds me of an orc. A blue marine up next with some lovely tentacles for an arm there, and some more tentacles for a chin, holding a standard looking flamer. And I'm going to assume that this guy is a Tzeentch marine. Hideous colour combination now on this marine, and if you look at his left leg, the green knee pad and the pink shin, it kind of looks like a face wearing a sort of Batman style cowl there. I don't know if that was the intention or if I'm just seeing faces where there's not a face. Anyway, I'm pretty sure this guy is Slaanesh, and the Slaanesh logo on his right shoulder kind of reaffirms that for me. A beautiful Marine up next, a lovely pink Emperor's Children I'm going to assume, with a very nice bleachy bone coloured pincer. And if you take a closer look, you can see there's maybe a tail something holding a weapon on the rear of this miniature. I do love the black lipstick. A very creepy looking Marine up next, again brandishing that beautiful Slaanesh logo there on the shoulder pad. A bare arm which is sort of fused into a weapon which looks a bit like a eagle beak claw type thing, a very strange weapon, whereas its left arm is definitely a claw. Again, we have some funny eyes and an amusing mouth. This kind of looks like the face of the snake in Beetlejuice. 10 internet cookies, if you understand that reference. A beetly bug looking Marine up next, and I do love the way his tongue is hanging out all the way down to his crotch. I wonder what he might get up to. The yellow and black stripes on the shoulder pad really do sell that insectoid vibe. I think this one's wonderful. A green Marine up next. Again, he's got those what appear to be faces on the knee pads and shins, and actually, on closer inspection, this Marine is almost exactly the same as the other one like this, but it has a slightly different head. This one has a sort of shrunken head look with an alien queen style crown or crest on the top there, but this time you can see the weapon a little bit cleaner. Looks to be a bolter with a drum mag and an awesome chainsaw attachment. Now I'm looking at this old miniature. It's not a Chaos Renegade, but it is kind of from the same era. It's a metal miniature. It might be lead, it might be tin, I don't know. It's quite white. It's like a very white metal. A lot of the lead miniatures seem darker than this. I'm not going to lick it, we're not going to test it, but it does have the writing on the tab at the bottom. I don't know if you can make that out there. But this tab is very interesting as it has a interesting phrase on there. And this tab reads, "If you're enjoying this video, then please click the like button and consider subscribing to the channel." That means you, Matthew. If you are enjoying the content on this channel, then please consider joining the Patreon, the link to which is in the description below or up there. A very blue Marine up next. Someone got very busy with the dry brushing or something maybe here. There's not many more colours than blue going on here. There's a metal bayonet. Is that a bayonet or is that just something else sticking out of the end of the weapon? It also has a kind of cow's head motif going on again, and a logo on the shoulder pad. I can't quite work out what that is. From here, it looks like a ghost. If anyone knows what this is supposed to be, then please let me know. My guess is that it's another Slaanesh Marine. A small Marine up next. This guy seems considerably smaller than all the others. It's either that or he's leaning far, far back, but he has a very amused grin on his face with a little red horn sticking up at the top. I think this guy is very cute. Another red and brass Marine up next, and again I'm going to assume he's a Khorne Marine. I do think the old Khorne colours do work well. Even back in the 80s they did look good, the red and brass trim. Next up is what appears to be a riff on the other limited edition 3 Eyes Chaos Marine. He has very, very similar armour, slightly different head, some extra bony bits sticking out of his shoulder pads, and he seems to be amazed that his left arm has been transformed into some sort of cutting weapon. His right arm is also a plasma gun. He's done quite well there with these gifts. Next up is a Marine with 4 arms. Yes, he's got 4 arms, 2 of which appear to be normal arms. Maybe all 4 are normal arms? Well, I don't know if you would count a green long finger as a normal arm, but he appears to be toting pistols in his upper arms, and then has a power fist and that strange green long dirty hand on the other hand. On the other hand, eh? On the other hand. Terrible jokes. And the next Marine is quite strange because they've gone with a sort of half and half paint scheme here. It's almost red and white, but they sort of gave up when they got to his shins there. This would have looked really cool, I think, if they'd have carried it on throughout the whole miniature. I do wonder if they were originally going with Malal, and then someone said, no, we're binning Malal off. Stick with Khorne. So we just finished it off with the red. Anyway, I do like the headpiece there. It does again look like two antennae holding a skull. So they were some of the earliest Chaos Renegades. What did you think of those miniatures? Did you have any of those Chaos Renegades? If so, which ones? Which did you think was the best sculpt out of all those Chaos Space Marines? Which Chaos God is the best? Argue away in the comments below. Did you see those strange bug eyes on some of those Chaos Makers? I guess they are makers. They are makers of their own destinies. Did you see some of the strange bug eyes on some of those Chaos Space Marines? If so, which god were they supposed to be from? Originally, I think Flies and I think Nurgle, but the colours looked a little more Zinchian to me. Did you like how some of them seemed to be like an organic corruption and some of them were mechanical, like a robot? Not sure what sort of robot does this. Maybe a robotic praying mantis. Why did they all have so many horns? It's a trope, a trait, a trope, or why can I not say trait? A trait of the miniatures which continues to this day. Now I have to admit I do love the old aesthetic of these old Chaos Renegades. They are very, very interesting to me and I do love looking at all the little details on them. I have to... not sure what I was trying to do there. I have to say if Chaos Space Marines actually looked more like this, then I would definitely be on board to be collecting them, but sadly I find today Space of the Chaos. There's someone laughing outside. He heard my cock up and he is very happy about it. Sadly today Chaos Space Marines seem a little bland to me. They just look like your normal ones with a couple of spikes stuck on the armour and a smiling face or something. Very, very boring. I like the weirdness. I like the old ones. I like the ones with dog legs. I like the one with the horse's face. I like the one with a face in the belly. I'm sure there was one with a face in the belly, although I can't find any pictures of it anymore. Sad times. If I was to pick a favourite from all those Chaos Space Marine Renegades, I would have to say I'd have to say it would be the cornate looking chap with a buzzsaw tail. I do want to know if that tail was a separate piece or if it was moulded into the sculpt. If anyone had that machine, I'm not sure. If anyone had that Chaos Space Marine, please let me know in the comments below if that was separate or moulded in as a one piece. I'm going to go and hunt for one on eBay and find out for myself. If you want to see some more Oldhammer videos, and I know you do, especially you there, then check out the playlist up here somewhere. As always, thank you very much for watching, and always remember to drill your barrels.